So today is June 20th. Please let our G translator team please treat this paragraph seriously. June 20th, before 12 p.m., Miles Guo sincerely to announce to our fellow allies in the US, in Europe, the supporters of the whistleblower movement and the new federal state of China, of all our allies and friends, Miles Guo is issuing a warning. This is only for reference only. This is for reference only. In order to protect the peaceful future between the Westerners and the Chinese people, and the fact that all humans are created equally, and to protect world peace and to protect the security of the whole world, will not be threatened and misused by evil powers. The whistleblower movement has always delivered and key information about the CCP's threat to the Chinese people and to the world from HNA of such the company that achieves a growth of 2,000% a day, and its threat to the Western economy, and how its former CEO Wang Jian's mysterious murder in Provence in southern France, and the true stock and the true owner of HNA, which is Wang Qishan, how corrupt he is, and how this company of regime has leached into the Chinese people, and also Guo Taiming and his influence on Taiwan, and also the extradition laws of Hong Kong, and how CCP tries to send the PLA army soldiers dressed up as Hong Kong police. Only a matter of time that they can no longer rely on bribery Number one, they know that when the Western world is extremely close to getting into the truth, they will conquer Taiwan. They've done a list of strategies and plans, and from the internal meetings, they are very well aware that in case the West is trying to impose sanctions, massive sanctions on CCP, the CCP will do whatever it takes to release the bioweapon to the greatest extent. The CCP official says, because this weapon is created by America, for America, it's created to attack white people. We're extremely successful in India. Let's make it even more successful in the US, in Europe. We would disregard any consequences. If we're going to use it, we're going to use it to the extent that we will make our enemies submit to us in fear. The CCP has done this before. I hope that all the elites in the West, when you hear this, please do whatever it takes to prevent this. For prevention, protection. When CCP can no longer hide the truth of the virus, they will start a war to invade Taiwan. They want the whole world's attention to concentrate on Taiwan. They want the whole world to engulf into this war mode. So they'll use politics, and they will use war. They will use war to distract attention. They'll use war to hide the fact that this virus was a man-made bioweapon, and then they will use it to dodge the responsibility of the virus. What is the CCP doing? Today, I represent the whistleblower movement and the new federal state of China to all the peace-loving Western allies of the world. Within 2021, in 2021, June 20th, 2021, I will again alert the whole world. Let me say it again. Of all the things that CCP has done, these do not equate the Chinese people. Right now, the CCP is an illegitimate regime. And also, it has been, and also based on their actions in Hong Kong and based on their genocide of the Uyghur people and the Hong Kong students, and their threats against Taiwan, the fact that they're trying to start a war, and they're trying to disregard any international laws at the South China Sea, and then the murders they did to the Tibetan people. So based on the true essence of Chinese culture and the true Chinese civilization, I would say that we are Chinese. The Chinese people are with the same stance as Western people. So in the past, we will never support any invasion, that we represent the vast majority of the peaceful people of China. Less than 200 people are the true culprits, that are the true oppressors of the Chinese people, and they're the true culprits behind all the disasters surrounding the release of the virus and the control of the West. We have received key intels that number one, the CCP is trying to, in this fall or summer, they will release the CCP virus again in America and in Europe. And the release of this batch of virus will be much more dangerous in the past. We knew that the CCP is very well aware that after the G7 meeting, the people around the world, because of the millions of deaths, people around the world has demanded the truth. The CCP knows that the truth will come out. It's released all sorts of evidence, and also all those media that are bribed by the CCP, and all those, despite of the pressure we face, and despite the fact that we're being threatened, politicized, and threatened by the CCP's allies in the West, the ones that they've bribed and infiltrated. And also about the truth of the human rights crisis in Hong Kong. The whistleblower movement has always tried to spread the truth that protects the peace of the humankind. We tell the world that the CCP does not equate the Chinese people. It cannot represent the Chinese people. That of all the atrocities the CCP has done, the people of China are the greatest victims. We are the earliest ones to alert the world of the Uyghur genocide. We are the earliest entity to deliver timely information about the Uyghur genocide to America and the West. We have many police officers and many internal officials working inside the CCP in Xinjiang have risked their lives to deliver this information. I believe that President Trump has done the right thing, has done a key step to announce that the Uyghur genocide is the Uyghur imprisonment is a genocide, and all this information came out from the whistleblower movement at the earliest possible time. So again and again, the CCP has tried to dominate the world and disregard the safety, health, and wellness of people around the world, and they will do whatever it takes in trying to impose those forces in the cities and all these peaceful protests of Hong Kongers in the cities. And in the end, from December 2019, we used to talk about the possibility and the consequences of virus with the Western government, and that we also discussed that the CCP might use bioweapon to threaten Hong Kong and the Western world. From May to June and July and October, we also issued those warnings, and then we see that many of the repellents used by Hong Kong anti-riot police have concentrations of chemical weapon in those. And also in 2020, in the year 2020, we are, and the whistleblower movement and New Federal State of China have announced that in January 15th, the broadcast from the rule of law, we warned the Western world that the so-called Wuhan virus, the no human to human transmission, that it's manageable, it's a total lie. That we delivered untimely information to America that this is a bioweapon attack. And then we worked together with Mr. Steve Bannon and our allies, and then we try to push the truth of the fact that the virus came from a lab and the truth about the death toll. And we also received many information from internal people working in the CCP and its threats. And its threats to the Western world, but unfortunately, only President Trump of America took our advice and shut down traveling. America did receive damage, but luckily, isn't as terribly as damaged as if they didn't take, in case they didn't take the advice. So we